Tonight, in our coverage, Benjamin Netanyahu blames Hamas for Israel's delay in approving the ceasefire deal. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Elia Batul. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced today that a last-minute crisis with Hamas is delaying the approval of a long-awaited ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu's statement came shortly after U.S. President Joe Biden and key mediator Qatar indicated that an agreement has been reached effective Sunday. This discrepancy has led to mixed reactions. Conflict-weary Palestinians in Gaza and relatives of hostages are expressing hope for the ceasefire, while Netanyahu says the deal is not yet finalized. The Israeli cabinet was scheduled to vote on the agreement today. However, Netanyahu's office announced that the meeting will be postponed until Hamas addresses Israel's concerns. The Prime Minister is accusing Hamas of reneging on parts of the agreement in an attempt to gain further concessions. He has not provided any details. Following the Israeli announcement, a senior Hamas official said in a statement, the group is committed to the ceasefire agreement announced by mediators on Wednesday. This comes as Israeli airstrikes continue in the Gaza Strip, killing at least 72 civilians in conflict-ravaged territory. Reports suggest that the reason for not voting on the ceasefire is not Hamas, but Netanyahu's coalition government. Netanyahu faces opposition from key members, including far-right Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Ben-Gvir has openly opposed the ceasefire, claiming it undermines Israel's security. Another senior minister, Bezalel Smotrich, is demanding absolute certainty that Israel will be allowed to resume military operations in Gaza if necessary. Both ministers have indicated that they may withdraw their support if the ceasefire terms are approved without guarantees for military action in the future. Israeli airstrikes across Gaza in the past 24 hours have killed at least 72 Palestinians, including 20 children and 25 women. Gaza Civil Defense reports more than 230 civilians have been injured. Most of these casualties have occurred in Gaza City. The news follows yesterday's announcement by the U.S. and Qatar of a ceasefire agreement. An Israeli airstrike in Sheikh Radwan neighborhood has killed 20 Palestinians. Separate strikes on Rimal and Al Daraj neighborhoods have left 9 dead. A girl was killed in Shajaya, and 3 Palestinians were targeted in Tel Al-Hawa. In central Gaza, a drone attack on the Nusayrat refugee camp has killed 3 civilians. Reports show 2 casualties in Khan Yunis in a separate airstrike. Israel's war on Gaza has been ongoing for 467 days. The incessant attacks have killed 46,700 Palestinians. More than 110,000 civilians have been injured since October 7th. The war has displaced thousands and caused widespread destruction. There is a dire humanitarian crisis in the besieged enclave. The International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Israeli leaders over alleged war crimes. Israel also faces a genocide case at the International Court of Justice. Arab nations have erupted in celebrations after the announcement of a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. The deal includes a 42-day truce, a prisoner exchange, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. President-elect Donald Trump and his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, have played a key role in expediting the agreement, working closely with President Joe Biden's team. Both leaders praised the deal as a crucial step towards regional stability. The ceasefire will be implemented in phases. The first phase includes a 42-day truce, the release of 33 Israeli detainees in exchange for Palestinian prisoners, and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces. Subsequent phases will focus on the return of displaced Palestinians to their homes, the reconstruction of Gaza, and long-term peace negotiations. Qatar and Egypt will oversee the process to ensure smooth implementation. Following the news of the ceasefire agreement, celebrations spanned from Jordan to Syria with joyous parades, chants, and fireworks. Leaders from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Egypt welcomed the deal. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has reaffirmed the need for the lasting peace through a two-state solution. However, conflicting reports emerging from the Knesset make it unclear if Israel will implement the deal on Sunday. Outgoing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and provincial leaders are ready to address looming U.S. tariffs. President-elect Donald Trump has vowed to impose 25% tariffs on Canadian goods from January 20th unless border migration and drug trafficking are curbed. In a meeting yesterday, Trudeau said, "None of us want to see tariffs erode a successful partnership." However, provincial leaders, including Ontario's Doug Ford, are urging tough retaliatory measures. During the meeting, Ford was wearing a "Canada is not for sale" cap. He says, "You can't let someone hit you without hitting back harder." Union groups are also pushing for immediate retaliatory tariffs and industry relief. If Trump imposes the tariffs, it could put $2.7 billion in daily trade at risk between the two nations. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he will not run for re-election as an MP in the next federal election. The announcement ends his 15-year tenure representing the Quebec riding, where he was first elected in 2008. Trudeau has recently announced to step down as leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister once a new leader is chosen on March 9th. After stepping down, Trudeau will continue as MP for Pepinio until the next election is called. He says his focus remains on serving Canadians during this critical time. Polling suggests Trudeau's exit alone may not be enough to secure Liberal dominance in future elections. A Manitoba Progressive Conservative leadership candidate is under fire for sharing a controversial Facebook post targeting his Muslim rival. Wally Dodrick's campaign post on social media, "We must stop Muslim Abi Khan from becoming leader." The post was deleted 4 days later. The National Council of Canadian Muslims condemns the post as Islamophobic. The group is calling for Dodrick to apologize publicly. Khan says he is hurt by the incident and is urging Dodrick to take responsibility. Dodrick's team calls it an honest mistake. The party has denounced comments targeting religion, emphasizing inclusivity. However, critics, including Khan, says such oversight is unacceptable in politics. Manitoba's PC leadership race will conclude on April 26th. A recent report reveals over 15,000 Canadians died in 2023 and 2024 while waiting for surgeries or diagnostic scans. The report has been compiled by secondstreet.org. The organization is a registered charity and public policy think tank. The report shows the actual number may exceed 28,000 due to missing data from provinces like Quebec and Alberta. More than 74,000 Canadians on wait lists have passed away since 2008. The cases range from life-saving procedures like heart surgeries to life-enhancing treatments like cataract operations. In some cases, patients waited over a year for critical heart surgeries. The report criticizes the lack of systemic tracking and analysis of these deaths. It is calling for the provincial governments to track and disclose waitlist deaths to improve accountability and transparency. Experts stress that funding alone cannot fix the healthcare crisis. They are urging for reforms to address systemic inefficiencies that leave Canadians waiting and suffering. The National Council of Canadian Muslims has raised concerns about a disturbing video recorded on a train in Edmonton, Alberta. The video allegedly showed a man engaging in threatening behavior towards a woman wearing a niqab on the light rail transit. The council is praising a bystander who appears to intervene in the situation. It says it is investigating the incident and plans to involve the authorities. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.